Okay, so we just took a look at a story that has a bridge with a semi-elliptical arch, right? Okay. Well, I drew the drawing over here, and they're asking us to come up with the equation of the semi-elliptical arch. Well, here's the deal. They already gave me a hint. This is going to be an ellipse. Good. Now here's the thing. Since it's going to be an ellipse, I need to know H, I need to know K, I need to know A, and I need to know B, don't I? And I'm going to put my A under the X and my B under the Y, just like always. That's just my consistent habit. Now, H and K represent the what? Yeah, it represents the center of the ellipse. Now here's the deal. It's your choice where you want to put the center of this ellipse. Me, if I have to come up with the center of the ellipse, I'm going to make it a very easy point. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make the center the easiest point I can, which is what? Good, 0, 0. So here's the deal. I am going to put this ellipse on my XY axis. They didn't put it on the XY axis. I'm going to do it. So I'm going to make this my center since I have half the ellipse above it. And I am going to draw my y-axis and my x-axis. And I have just put the center of this ellipse at 0, 0. Cool? And this is the arch, isn't it? Right? This is half of the ellipse. This is the arch, isn't it? Well, you can tell me some information. Yeah, from the center to the highest point of that arch has a length of 7. Good. Which represents, what do you think? Yeah, that actually represents the radius in the y direction, doesn't it? Now here, since this is the center, I have taken the bottom of this, which is the water, right? I have taken the bottom of this, and since I put the center in the center, that means half of this has a length of, good, 10, good, which represents the radius in the x direction. So, this is definitely a horizontal ellipse, a major axis with a horizontal, okay, I should say an ellipse with a horizontal major axis because the x direction is larger. And that means, yeah, I'm basically going to have x squared over 100 because I got to square that a, and y squared over 49, good, equals 1. This problem wanted only the equation. Well, there's the equation. If they asked me any follow-up questions, I could actually answer follow-up questions because I have the equation of the ellipse. Good? Hang in there for the next problem. The next problem's got the follow-up question. Okay, so we just took a look at the second problem, which again is talking about a bridge with a semi-elliptical arch, right? And they've given me that the span is 100 feet and, yeah, at the highest point is 30 feet, isn't it? So, you know, as always, it's good to draw. And their question is, they want to know the height of the bridge when we are 40 feet out from the center. So at 40 feet, they want to know this height. Well, problem sounds familiar except for the question. The last problem didn't give us a question. But the last problem did give us a semi-elliptical bridge again, didn't it? So here's the thing. In order to answer their question, knowing you've got a semi-elliptical bridge, what do you think you're actually going to have to find in order to answer the question? Good. You're going to have to find the equation. I always need the equation, because once I have the equation, then it's a matter of plugging things in and seeing what I get out. And you're like, what are you plugging in? Well, hang in there. Forget about plugging in. Let's get the equation first, shall we? Okay, so what do I need? I need H, K, A, and B. Major axis is which direction? Good. Horizontal. So here's the deal. We need H. We need, whoops. H does not equal K. All right, so let's get rid of that. We need H. We need K. We need A. We need B. I'm putting A under the X. I'm putting B under the Y. My major axis, what did you guys tell me? Yeah, that's horizontal because the span of the bridge is 100 feet, isn't it? And the top half is the top half is 30 feet, which means the bottom half would be 30 feet. That's 60 feet. So clearly that's smaller, isn't it? Okay. Now, do we know the center? No, we don't. But, let's be smart. Yeah, let's make the center, and I'm going to put in my XY axis. Let's make the center where? Yeah, 0, 0. We have just made our center right here, which means what is A going to be? What's the radius for my x's? Good, 50, because isn't from here to here 50? And for the y's? Good, 30, because I already have the top half being 30. From the center to the highest point is 30. So, can I write the equation? I sure can. I've got x squared over, well, that's 2,500, plus y squared over, yep, 900, equals 1. Yay! You're like, well, that's great, but how do I find out the height at 40 feet? Remember, we put this on an XY axis, didn't we? And if we're 40 feet out, that represents which variable? X. And if I want to know the height, that represents, good, y, which means this point is 40, comma, y. Couldn't I plug in the 40 for x and see what comes out for y? Excellent. So let's go for it. So we have 40 squared, right? Humor me a second. Nah. Yes, I'm going to rewrite this. 50 squared. I'm like, why'd you do that? Well, I like to keep my brain sharp and I don't want to use a calculator. So, because here's what I know. I can write 40 over 50 squared plus the y squared over 900 equals 1. 40 over 50 reduces to what? Good, 4/5 squared plus y squared over 900. What's 4 over 5 squared? 16 over 25. Yes, which you would have gotten had you not made the 2,500 into 50 squared again. I know. And now you got to solve for the y squared, right? So you got to minus the 16 over 25 over. And some of you are like, oh my gosh, I have to subtract fractions. You can handle it. Stay off those calculators. So, I'm going to bring my work over here. Help me out. 1 minus 16 over 25. Good. 9 over 25. Right? Get the y squared by itself. 9 over 25 times 900 over 1. Y squared equals 8,100 over 25. Y squared equals, no? Okay. You're like, wait, don't you square root it? Okay, so square root it. There's 2 ways you could actually go from here, but square root it. What do you get? 90 over 5 plus or minus, don't you? But yeah, you're right. It's going to be positive because it looks like I'm in first quadrant and I'm talking a height. Correct? So y equals positive 90 over 5, which means y equals 18 feet. So the height of this bridge at 40 feet out is 18 feet high. Makes sense because my answer was lower than 30 feet, and it better be lower than 30 feet because 30 feet is supposed to be the highest point of this bridge since it is the radius in the y direction. And I got 18 feet here. Does this make sense? So it was like the last problem. I had to find the equation, but it took it a step further and said, well, when it's 40 feet out from the center, how high is it? Well, plug in the 40 and do the algebra how you want. Me personally, I stay off the calculator as much as possible, and I ended up with 18 feet. Cool? Okay, you have fun with ellipses, and I'll catch you on the flip side.